just reading this post from a friend of mine who has a private equity firm, boutique private equity firm. One of the things he was talking about in the post was about risk. And he was breaking down like his risk tolerance and everything he went through as an entrepreneur, and then moving into the private equity space as he was buying companies. And what it really made me think, it made me think and reflect about my appetite for risk. And as far as I can go back, I've always been that person who was starting a business or doing something that would be deemed as risky. But for me, I never really saw it as a risk, because it was something that, that I saw a vision for it. And I was like, wait, I want to step into that vision. So did I calculate that risk? Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. And one of the things that, as I'm walking to my office, I saw that sign that says, "Before I die," and people just placed all the things they wanted to do before they died. And one of the things that, a quote from Steve Jobs, basically he said, every morning he would look into the mirror and say, am I doing the thing that I want to do before I die? And when you put risk in that context of our lives are limited, our lives aren't forever, then it really begins to de-risk the very thing that you're thinking about doing. So that really made me think about that. And as I actually head to my office right now, it was a good reminder. It was just a good reminder. So I'm heading there right now, and stay tuned. Look at this guy. This guy's hanging off the side of a building. How much risk tolerance do you think he has? Play this really interesting trick on us, especially when it comes to risk, because one of the main things is we don't when I was looking to acquire my first business, I was nervous. Why? Because I didn't have enough evidence to know that I could actually do it. And once I kind of, borrowed the confidence of someone that I've seen do it, that's what helped me actually go through the process. And the cool thing about me not doing it, acquiring a business earlier, is not having that experience knowledge. I was able to think way more creatively than I would have had I done it. And once I did it that one time, I was able to do it again. It wasn't at the scale as the first time, but it was in a similar scale. But the thing that drives that kills your confidence is fear. And that fear, they say, false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. So what you need to do, what I had to do to get over that, is to create new evidence. Even if I haven't done it before, someone else out there has done it before. So when I knew that I was going to pivot from just acquiring these businesses and getting the cash flow from the businesses, and I realized, I was like, this is not going to be sustainable. I need to redirect and pivot. It was scary to pivot because I had put so much time into learning and understanding the process itself, that to pivot into a different business model, it was a risk to do that. And to be honest with you, I had a runway, I had time, I had a limited amount of time and a limited amount of money that I could get that done. And it was scary. It's still scary. I'm still in that position, but I have now evidence. I have a catalog of evidence on why this new model is going to work. But at the end of the day, when you're really, we all have an appetite for risk. And sometimes, some of the best capital allocators, investors, entrepreneurs, is that they're really good at de-risking the situation and really removing that fear. Because the fear, not removing the fear, but using the fear to actually propel you forward. And that's I heard Jimmy Iovine from Interscope talk about how he uses fear. And when I was a director of entrepreneurship at a community college, I used to use this example all the time, is that when we have fear, it's like right in front of your face. So it just feels like there's like this big mountain. It's like it was right there in front of your face. You have this big mountain. And what Jimmy Iovine was saying is, you gotta take that fear and put it behind you and allow it to push you forward. And doing that in that process of putting the fear behind you, that's how you learn how to do more calculated risk, so that you can do the things that you want to do, because you don't want to stay stuck. I was just talking to some friends, we're in one of the greatest times in human history. I know it doesn't look like that on the surface, but we're going through this major transition, especially if you're an acquisition entrepreneur. The silver tsunami, a lot of baby boomers who are selling there's just going to be so much opportunity in the foreseeable future. And now's the time to really, if you were ever going to make a move, now's the time to do it. Yeah, I just had a conversation with entrepreneur here in our co-working space, and we were just talking about, sometimes we have these visions, and I was telling her sometimes if God would have showed us everything we would have gone through, we probably would have turned back around. It's like, you know what? I'm good. I don't want this entrepreneur thing. And that's a part of what comes with it, is sometimes, especially when you're all in on your idea and you're just trying to figure it out, but you took that risk and you went out and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it happen. So anyway, I am done for today. I'm packing up. If you made it this far in this video, I really appreciate you. I don't take it lightly. With that said, I'm out. Peace.